Hurricane Irma impacted all of Florida, including flooding all of downtown Jacksonville along with my boathouse. The salt marshes where I fished did not escape the wrath of the storm. The salt-laden hurricane-force winds killed the vegetation on many of the coastal hammocks and turned the water to the consistency of chocolate milk. As the saying goes, when you're given lemons, you need to make lemonade, and that's exactly what you need to do with a hurricane. With the hurricane came the higher tides, or we call them king tides, and if you could find water near an inlet where the cleaner seawater came in over these flooded marshes, you would also find fish. If you have the patience to stalk them, you can find redfish tailing in the grass. Or the approach that I took today, which was to throw artificial jigs with the white body along the edges of the marshes in the deeper water. One of the more productive approaches to use in dirty water is to use live or dead bait. Live bait will throw off a vibration as it moves through the water. Dead bait will attract fish by their smell. Even when the fishing is slow, the beauty of the marsh will keep you entertained. In addition to the redfish, bluefish and flounder made their appearance today. With the tide starting to drop, it was time to head back to the ramp. And now a perfect end to a great day of barbecue with friends. About 2 weeks after the hurricane, we headed over to Sanibel in southwest Florida to help out my sister and her husband. They'd had several trees come down in their backyard.
Is it moving? It's moving. It's moving. Here it goes.
I had the easy job running the chainsaw. The other family members were taking the cuttings out to the street, and we ended up with the trash pile over 100 feet long. After the hurricane cleanup work was complete, we went out looking for fish. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any clean water in Estero Bay or in Pine Island Sound due to all the water that the Army Corps of Engineers was dumping out of Lake Okeechobee through the mouth of the Caloosahatchee River. So we headed south to Naples and stopped by the pier. Unfortunately, we found more dirty water and found out that the pier too had been damaged by the hurricane, along with a lot of other things like this gigantic banyan tree. About a month after Hurricane Irma, I was invited down to Fort Pierce for a camp out on an island with some of my friends. Conditions on the island were great, and I easily found a wonderful place to sling my hammock with the view of the water. Not all the residents of this island made it through the hurricane, like this heron, who either succumbed to the winds of the hurricane or not being able to find food in the muddy water. Even though it had been over a month since the hurricane, the water around the island where my campsite was still cloudy, and on neighboring islands there were derelict vessels like this one boat of about 100 feet that had washed up on the beach. To find clean water and the fish, I headed to the estuaries around Fort Pierce Inlet. Here the action was very consistent, and over the 2 days that I fished it, I caught 9 varieties of fish. In addition to my jigs, I was using a Savage Gear TPE mud minnow. This was a top-watered bait that gave a great splash when you jerked it, along with an excellent side-to-side motion, and drew strikes from about every game fish out there. By working points like this back in the estuary, I was able to catch trout, snook, mangrove snapper, redfish, barracuda, and jack. Both days I was here, I put the place to bed. I just couldn't leave the non-stop action. Please join us for the next adventure by subscribing to my channel, and thank you for watching.